What's going on, guys? Car Review Guys here. My name is AJ, and today we're going to discuss the hot topic of the Silverado EV. We're going to compare it to the Rivian with some quick numbers side by side, compare the looks, and let's just see which one's kind of the winner. And obviously there's going to be a difference whenever you go to drive it, but for the purpose of this video, obviously they're brand new. You can only really drive one, which is the Rivian. So let's see which one wins on paper and compare some of the things about them. Without further ado, let's go inside. Let's start comparing them. Let's roll. All right, so here we are looking at the brand new Silverado RST. Obviously this is the higher end trim level as of right now. Eventually they might come out with something else, but this is the newest trim level. So as we are in Car and Driver here, we're just kind of scrolling through their pictures. First thing I notice is the huge light bar right across the front, which to me looks pretty cool. I think this truck is fairly good looking. The only thing that I'm not a huge fan of is probably the back part of it. Like right behind the rear there. Yeah, that right there, not a huge fan of that. That looks, I don't know, a little odd to me. I'd rather it be like a normal truck where it's just the bed and then just straight up for the cab, but some people may like that. For me, not a huge fan. So overall, I think this truck looks really good. I don't really have any complaints, especially for an EV truck, other than, like I said, that rear. But other than that, I think it's a pretty sharp looking truck. No complaints, really. So now let's do really quickly here. Let's look at the Rivian. I know many of you have obviously seen that. That's maybe not quite as new. All right, so as we come over here to look at some of the Rivian pictures, there's some good, there's some bad about this truck. I think this light bar right here is a little bit too wide in my opinion. It doesn't look like really like sleek compared to like the Silverado. The Silverado, see, it's nice and thin. It looks really clean, symbol lights up. You come over to the Rivian and it's just kind of, I don't know, it's really wide. It's not terrible, but to me it's maybe not perfect. The back of the truck I think looks pretty nice. I think that's pretty sharp. I really don't have any complaints on the back. I like the back end of this better behind the rear door. It's kind of straight down like a normal truck is what I would call it. Yeah, I think that looks better in my opinion. Now the Rivian is definitely a little bit smaller. You can just tell just by looking at it overall. Here's another cool little feature of the Rivian. You can have this little tunnel here to store things. Obviously, there's a grill that obviously can come out of that as well. I'm sure many of you have seen that. I'm not sure if they're going to show it in these pictures or not. Let's just quickly scroll through here. Trunk space and the EVs are definitely cool, or frunk space rather. That's definitely pretty neat to actually have that. That's extra storage space. Interior on this truck compared to the Silverado, I don't know. I like both, to be honest. I think both interiors are pretty clean. I don't necessarily know all the features because I don't think they necessarily revealed all the features of the interior on the Silverado. Let's quickly skip through some of these pictures here so we can get to the interior of it. So here we go. Here we are on the interior. Now, I think where the Silverado is winning is probably the screens. I think the screens are angled a little better. I think they're more driver focused, which I always think the screens really should be. There's heads-up display in the Silverado, which I'm a huge fan of heads-up display. I have it in my Z06. I have it in my Camaro 1LE. All my other Corvettes that I've had previously, all of them have had the heads-up display. So absolutely love that feature. It's kind of quirky. It's not like it's a necessity, but I do like that feature. Obviously you have Super Cruise on this. I believe that also is, you know, Rivian has their own version of that, if you will. But overall, I think both interiors are really nice. I don't have any complaints. So if I had to pick a winner between the two trucks as far as looks, I think I would probably pick the interior of the Rivian as far as looks, just because there's some like unique stuff. The Silverado kind of has all other GM stuff. There's nothing special, as to where like you look at these seats on the Rivian and it's like, it's different. It's not the same. But if you go to the Silverado, it's no different. It's all the same toggles as what's in any other GM product if you look closely. Which, not that it's not nice, it just doesn't feel special. Trying to get to a view of the seats for it. Yeah, so the seats, it's no different. I mean, look at an Escalade, look at, you know, a Yukon, any of them. It's the same pattern. There's nothing fancy about those seats. Come over to the Rivian, you got at least some design in it. It looks a lot better. Now, maybe the Silverado is more comfortable. I don't know. Maybe it's more practical. We'd have to see that on the road. But look-wise, Rivian's winner of interior. Exterior, I think we'd definitely have to go with the Silverado, as it just, the front of this looks a little weird, as to where if you come back to the Silverado, you know, that exterior to me just looks a little bit better. I think it looks more sleek. It looks more, almost more aggressive, to be honest. It just looks better. So that's kind of comparing the looks, interior, exterior. Let's go to some stats, the figures. And I've gathered this data through various websites, whether it's Car and Driver or Silverado's video that they just released, or Rivian's website. I've tried to get all accurate data. So let's quickly look at this. So you have the Silverado and the Rivian. You have horsepower comparison, 664 in the Silverado, 835 in the Rivian. Foot-pound of torque, 780 in the Silverado. Rivian, 908. Towing capacity, 10,000 pounds. Rivian is at 11,000 pounds. Mileage range, 400 and 400. Towing range, Silverado really hasn't released it. While Rivian hasn't really, let's say, publicized it, if you go onto their website, and I think it's under like the FAQ section, you can research down in there that they state, answering a customer's question, that it is roughly 50% battery life when towing at max capacity. So, you know, quick math, 400 divided by 2, 200 miles, roughly. I mean, if you want to be safe, maybe 170, somewhere in there. Obviously, the R1T, I'm assuming it has the upgraded mileage, because you can upgrade like the battery as like an option. So that is factored in. So 0 to 60, Silverado, personally I was a little disappointed. For all electric, all wheel drive, it's 0 to 60 is 4.5. Impressive for a truck, but for EV, yeah, it's really not that great. Rivian, 3 seconds, that's more of like the benchmark you should probably be at. Silverado being, as you can see right below it, 19.4 feet in length, and the Rivian is at 16.6 feet. Just the size difference alone, I would probably expect the Silverado to be more at like a 3.8, somewhere in there. 0 to 60, I think that would be more where they want to be for the size of the truck, being an EV and all-wheel drive. But that's just my opinion on that. And then the charge time, Silverado is 100 miles in 10 minutes, and then the Rivian is 140 miles in 20 minutes, and those are both considering fast charging. So, which you don't really want to do all the time from what I've read. So that's kind of the I don't know if that's a good figure, because you don't always want to fast charge, but that's the facts nonetheless. So really, if you look at it in all of these categories, the majority winner is Rivian. But Silverado, you know, is winning in the charging. There's some cool things about the Silverado with the bed folding down to make it longer. That's pretty cool. Up into the cabin, like if you had like a canoe or kayak or whatever, like that's pretty neat. But if you want to watch all of like the details, go watch the reveal video. It's, I think, like 8 or 10 minutes long. Shows you everything you want to know. But I want to do a very quick video, 10 to 12 minutes, just comparing the two, because I looked online and I don't think I saw anything comparing the two with stats and figures. So this is the stats and the figures, and hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. A little bit different than what we do all the time. Sometimes we're in the R8, sometimes we're in the Vet, sometimes we're with other exotic cars, sometimes we're with regular cars. Just kind of depends what we're doing. But just like that, we're going to go ahead and end today's video. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you like today's video. But just like that, this video's over. Talk to you guys later. Peace.